Hello again to all our wonderful, gorgeous viewers out there, and welcome again to the CC&J show. I'm CC and this is J.
Come back.
Today we're gonna be talking about how Jay proposed.
First, I want to start off by saying to all the fellas out there, I know you can contest to this. Any of the guys who ever propose, like this video, share, leave a comment. Let me know if you agree with me. Proposing to a woman is the most nerve-wracking day ever.
Really?
I was so nervous. Like,
he was nervous and I was upset in a way. I was upset because I didn't know what was going on. I was just confused.
You mean like while we were like walking around and stuff?
Yeah.
So what happened was I was trying to keep her like in the dark about the whole situation. It was supposed to be a surprise. Obviously it's a surprise, right? So I called up like her dad. I talked to her cousin. Shout out to Malika. Subscribe to her YouTube channel, Leak Away. We're gonna like put it down in the description box. You can like subscribe to her channel. So her cousin Malika and Malika's husband Patrick, cool peoples. Shout out to them. I flew out because we got the invitation to the wedding. So she thought I was just gonna be there for the wedding, but it was way more than that. So I told her dad, I was like, I want you to be there. He got all the family. Her sister was down in Atlanta. I inboxed her sister and I told her sister, don't tell her that you and I, communicating with each other. That was like a tough thing to do because first of all, we talk about everything, and then I share everything with her. And then her sister, they like this, so I thought maybe her sister was gonna say something.
She said nothing, guys. She told me
she almost
nothing.
Left you a hit though. She was saying she was making little comments and stuff, wasn't she?
Listen, guys, I had no clue. I was just excited that all my family was in the same area at the same time, and my baby cousin was getting married, and the love of my life was gonna meet them, and so he was gonna be at the wedding. So it was a big weekend for me. So my mind was nowhere close to proposal.
Not only I talked to a lot of her family over the phone because she was in New York at the time and I was in California at the time. But some of her family, I haven't met them yet. I met them, but I haven't really met them. So I wanted to make a good impression. So that was nerve-wracking. And then her dad and everybody agreed to everything that I was doing. So we were walking around New York and it was rough. We had an appointment to take a helicopter ride. First of all, I couldn't even come. I didn't even know how I was going to come up with it.
Guys, he had the appointment. I had no clue I was going on a helicopter ride.
I was lying to her. I was like, we're going to go get lunch. We want to get lunch next to the pier. I was like, yeah, I was just trying, I was telling her that I wanted to show off. I was like, I'm gonna take your family out. We're gonna get lunch by the pier. We're gonna, go on a boat ride and stuff like that. Because she was like, why are we next to the water? Why are we driving down here this way? Asking a ton of questions. I'm like, mind your business. But, so, and then, how New York traffic can be. We driving down the highway and the traffic's backed up. And it took us 30 minutes to drive a mile or whatever. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna miss it. Then I missed my exit. It took us another 30 minutes to make the U-turn and come back around. Couldn't find parking. And then when we finally found parking,
everything was going wrong, guys.
Yeah, and then when we finally found parking, we rode in 3 cars, so people were following us. And then they get in when you're trying to follow somebody in the car, somebody else jump in and stuff. Then we had to find parking. You know how New York parking is. We found this one parking garage. I was like, okay, everybody can park in here. We get over there. There was 12 hours for $50 or something like that. I was like, ain't nobody. Ain't nobody got time for that. So we all had to go find parking all over the place, and then we had to walk a mile back to get to the pier. It was rough. And the whole
you see,
time,
guys, you see why I was getting
it was
upset.
going all wrong.
I was getting frustrated.
It was going all wrong. And then, so her family is following us, and she's like, why is my family just doing everything you saying?
I was like, what?
I didn't know my way. I got the GPS out, and her dad behind me, he's talking. He was like, man, does this guy know what he's doing? What's going on? He told me this, and now we're doing this and stuff like that. I'm sweating. I'm like, oh man. So everybody's hungry. They was like, we're gonna stop and get something to eat.
Guys.
So and they messing it up because I told her, I said, we're gonna eat on the pier, but now they stopping by the whatever little local spot, a diner, to go over there.
We end up going into a diner. It was Jay that proposed us to go into the diner. He was like, let's go in here. Everybody got settled in. I'm super hungry at this point. Super hungry.
And then I looked at the clock. I was like, there's no way we're gonna eat and make it back to the pier in time. We gotta go. Right when the waitress is taking people orders and everything, people are like, what are we gonna do? We just ordered drinks and everything.
So Jay was like, oh, Simone and I are gonna leave. And I'm like, leave? Why? Why am I leaving my family? I'm like frustrated at this point. Then he said, let's walk around. I know, we gotta go to this place, let's walk around. I'm like, where are we going to a boat ride? I had no, I was like, confused. Yeah, boat. I was just sweating. Boat. And he keeps saying yes. So, we're getting closer and it's like water, and then I'm like seeing helicopters
coming down.
I'm like, what are we doing here? So we got there, and he finally said, oh, I'm gonna take you on a helicopter ride. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, after that she wasn't mad no more. She was
I was sitting in the lobby, guys. I was sitting in the lobby smiling, all like, yay, and so excited that I was going on a helicopter ride. Not knowing that Jay got his own plane. But let me say, guys, for me, it was like we got off the helicopter and I'm trying to hold his hand. Like, I'm literally looking back to hold his hand, and he is like pulling his hand behind his back. And I'm looking back like, what's wrong with him? Like, why is he pulling his hand behind his back?
And then, you know, like most proposals, you want to have the ring in a case and open it up and do all this stuff. I was like, I can't have this bulky case in my back pocket and I'm trying to hide it. So I took the ring out the case and put the ring in my pocket. I was holding my back pocket all day. I was like, I'm not dropping this ring. You know, I don't want to like sit down and lose it or whatever. So that's what I was reaching for. I got the ring out. She's looking and being nosy as usual. Always, you know, in everybody's business, but
always in my man's business, ladies.
So in his business. I dropped to one knee. I had her hand, and she was like bending down too, like she's about to drop to a knee too. I was like, no, fool, stand over there so I can propose. And then, you know, I wanted to ask her like, will you marry me? But the helicopter propellers were still going, and it was really loud. You couldn't hear anything. So I just showed her the ring, like, you know what this means. You know, say yes or something like that so I could put this thing on your hand. And it turned out to be a really good day.
Yeah, because I was like, when he went down on one knee, I was like cheesing, guys. You're gonna see like just teeth, like all my 32s were out. Like, I was just like,
and I never done this before, so I didn't know how it was gonna go. I wish her family could have been on the pier over there with us so they can like be there to cheer her on and everything, but they couldn't like come through. It was like a little building kind of thing. You couldn't come through. They had to wait on the other side. And then when we came out, everybody already knew. So she come walking out and everybody's sitting there, they're clapping and stuff like that, cheering her on and everything. And she was like, oh, you know, covering her face and all shy and everything. Like, everybody knew already.
I was like, it's a very weird feeling, especially if you never experienced it that way before. And I had no clue. I was completely thrown off guard. And I was just happy with just being able to see him, because I hadn't seen him in months. So prior to that, so I was like, I'm just happy to see you. But it turned out to be a wonderful
an amazing
occasion.
Weekend. The whole weekend, because then the next day we went to the wedding.
Cousin's wedding, and so I was like showing off my ring to like all my family members. I was walking him around like, here you go, meet my fiance, meet my fiance. And so like, as for me, it felt like I felt special. I felt like, okay, finally somebody that I really love, like the love of my life, loves me back and really want to dedicate his life to me. And I was super duper ecstatic.